Today I'd like to talk a little bit about meme wars, and generally the way that people interact on Facebook and other social media today has degenerated to such a point that I really fear for the future of conversation. And I mean that in the sense that most people don't seem to know what they actually believe, much less how to defend it if somebody comes up with something that violates their cherished beliefs. You know, this may begin with somebody taking a meme that they think is funny or makes a point or something, or they try to argue through the meme. You see, doesn't that just answer all of your questions? And look, I mean, most people, if you really think about it, you know that nobody's mind is going to be changed by the meme. It reminds me of the early days of Rush Limbaugh, back in the early 90s, when people would call in and just say, ditto. Okay. So you're saying you agree with everything he said and you've got absolutely nothing to add. Why did you bother calling in the first place? It's the same kind of thing with the memes. When you're sharing somebody else's words or some clever phrase or saying or a picture that just completely illustrates exactly what you're thinking, you've got nothing to add. Why bother? All you're going to do is stir up the passions of people. Because most people these days, I mean, think about it. When's the last time you had a really deep conversation with somebody on a philosophical level? Probably been a while. Most of the time, people don't think with their intellect. They think with their feels, if that's even possible. They just go off on how they feel about something. No matter what the argument, whether we're talking about vaccinating children, or we're talking about public school versus homeschool, or whether we're talking about regulation of business or free enterprise or anything else like that, most people do not honestly think about the issue. Do they? Do you? I mean, when you see a meme, how do you react? When you see a clever picture that somebody has posted, it's either going to do one of two things to you, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's either just going to make you so angry, oh, that's just so stupid, or you're going to say, oh, exactly, man, like. And that's what most people are posting those memes for in the first place, to get the cheap like, to get that little click. And look, I've done it. We've probably all done it. Everybody who engages in social media of any kind, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, I mean, when you retweet what somebody else has said, all you're doing is taking their message and spreading it to as many people as possible. You're not adding anything to it at all. All you're doing are serving as like a radio transponder. You're just taking somebody else's message and blah, blah, blah. You're not even processing it for yourself. I'm throwing that out there because when this happens, you're only stirring up other people's feelings without actually connecting with them. You're not helping your own argument by posting or reposting memes. You're certainly not going to win anybody to your point of view. Look, I want people to be able to have conversations. I want people to be able to exchange freely and about whatever topic they want to. I really do. But I want them to actually exchange, to actually think, to engage the brain, and to have logical conversations. It means you have to stop these ad hominem attacks. Stop calling people names. Birthers, preppers, anti-vaxxers. I mean, you think about all these different names that people put on, the labels that they put on other people. It's the kind of thing that just by identifying with it, and even if you do identify with it, it puts people into a subgroup. And I don't know. It's where I'm coming from in all of this is I would like to ask myself and maybe ask you, the next time you see that meme, before you click forward or before you click share or before you even click like, think about what purpose it's serving. And think about if it's actually helping anybody's cause, or if it's actually helping anybody to think deeply about an issue, or if all it's going to do is reinforce people's beliefs or challenge somebody else's cherished beliefs without actually giving them some meat to lock into. That's my thoughts. I'm Steve Floyd, and this is RadioFreeSpeech.com. You like what I'm doing? Please support me either through Patreon or through a direct subscription, or like my most recent sponsor, Inland Petro Service, Inc. You can also buy advertising as well. Send me an email if you're interested in that, Steve@RadioFreeSpeech.com. Thanks.